but he needs to put his ego in check.
And
Like, you might be a genius,
and he rejects.
but you're not always the smartest guy in the room.
Oh my goodness! We have a special guest! Welcome to another comic review from Comics Conspiracy. We're going to be doing the beautiful TMNT IDW collection. We're going to be doing a number of issues today. We're going to be doing Donatello.
It's 6, Donatello 7 and 8.
That's right. And boy, does it leave off at a cliffhanger.
What a fuck.
Now, I know some of you have already read ahead and read the whole damn volume, I'm sure. But this is what we're recapping today, all right? So, I'm going to be honest with everybody. Donatello was my least favorite out of the individual ones, even though it did have some moments that were obviously, good fan service, I'll say. Not bad fan service. But we're going to be reviewing these, and I cannot state it more than enough, guys. Please, if you have the means and the opportunity, pick up at least volume 1 of TMNT IDW collections. This bad boy right here. It's got Raph on the cover. It's got Raph on the back.
So good.
Beautiful spine. They're all done up in this sword handle binding. So nice. Alrighty. Highly recommend it. And we're going to get into it right now. All right, we're going to start things off on the negative end of things. Let's talk about things we didn't like about this particular volume. Dave, we're going to start with you.
Don't start with me. Don't start with me right now. All right. You know what? I know we're just talking about story, but the artwork in Donatello was so much better. It's suited, It's so much better than what has happened in the past,
Okay.
It suits it. It's strong. Wow, the coloring's amazing. The panel work, though, is awesome. Like the read-through, like panel to panel, just goes great with the story,
Fair.
Like, I think everything was done so well. In terms of the story, I can't say much that I didn't like. Like, that's just the thing. Like, I'm trying to think of things I didn't like, and it's usually I can really nail down something, but no. There's nothing much I didn't like about this. I don't know.
Nothing?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I don't, like the emotions between the characters, everything. Like Splinter being that father and like just the way he is with them,
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, Kang. Okay, I said it last time, so maybe.
Krang?
Whatever his name is. Yeah, just that it's too far out. That's the only thing, but I get it. It's Turtles, so it's hard for me to complain.
What is the title of this comic book, Dave?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And you're saying that Krang is too far out?
Mostly confused on what your complaint about him is.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I can't.
Well, let's talk about that. I want that's a good point. What's your issue with Krang?
It's like it's space almost. Like it's like if I'm reading X-Men, I actually, and I hate to say this about Dark Phoenix Saga, I don't want to see X-Men in space.
You're crazy. You're absolutely drunk at this point.
Yep, but I'm just saying I don't want to see X-Men in space. That's
why.
My thing.
Why do you not want to see superheroes in space?
Fantastic Four, sure, but X-Men, no, because I think it's like Daredevil in space. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to see it.
Right.
All
right. So I do.
Like, Krang has been part of the TMNT mythos for a long time now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what the first appearance was, but I bet you it would have been in the first 10 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's one of the only things that it's always bothered me about them is just that, But I get that it has to be part of it because it is part of their history and everything, right? So.
Well, it's not just a part. It's a pretty big part.
Yeah. In most instances, he's the one who provides the mutagen.
But regardless.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
All right. Regardless, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a weird mix. Okay.
Yes.
Well, on one end, you get your Daredevil fix from them. Obviously, the street level kind of stuff.
And the ninjas and everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But they're mutant turtles. So you get all this weird crap baked in with it. The difficulty with a comic book like that is taking all of those weird elements, or shall we call strangeness, blending it all into this and still making it work. And that is a real testament to storytelling if you can do that.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying, like, it's hard for me to complain because they did such a good job doing that. That's the thing, right? They really did. So I can't say much beyond that. It's not my only thing is that personal thing about that. I wish it wasn't part of it, but it is. So I can't, you know?
And do they make it work though?
It's like I can't sit there and say, you know, Star Wars shouldn't have Ewoks. They just shouldn't, you know? It's part of things now, you know. I cannot take that away, right? So anyways, yeah, that's my 2 cents. That's why I said don't start with me.
All right.
Well, strong opinions right out the gate.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, Krang's not my favorite character in the series by far. He's not, you know what I mean? But I think that you're going to be surprised with what they do with him as well.
Yeah, well, so far it's been amazing. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's just like, yeah,
they even take a very two-dimensional character like Krang, and they really do some pretty interesting stuff with him as well. You'll see. All right, Megan, what did you dislike? If you say Krang, I'm done.
No, I did not.
Why is your sleeve rolled up like that? What are you trying to be, Arthur Fonzarelli?
Listen, man, I'm uncomfortable. All right. What I dislike is partially because I probably don't fully understand what they're trying to do. I don't like that hardcore parkour was killed in the same way that.
Okay.
Oh, Frenchie.
No, but I don't know.
Do you like French men? Well, okay, so what am I supposed to do with that?
If you do with it, why?
I guess I was hoping that you'd say a different answer. I had expectations. I failed.
I guess your expectations were. So, all right. So, is he supposed to be a reference to something, or is he just a standalone character that has nothing? That has no like long.
He's part of something bigger.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, I wouldn't get your heart set on him too much.
Fair.
He did.
Yep, he did.
Alrighty.
However, I do like the part of his part of the narrative where it's that once again it's the ninjas on the sideline observing things that are going on and knowing that they can't get involved but end up getting involved anyway.
All right.
Because this even though it's their battle,
Okay.
but they don't know it.
But it is their battle.
We know it's their battle. We know that these are foot.
Yep. I gotta wait till Dave's kennel calms down a little bit.
So
Who knows when that's.
that's probably the only thing I.
All right. Fair. All right. You would have liked to seen that more fleshed out, perhaps. Okay. Michael, what did you not like these particular? Dave, come on. The kennel.
Very minor things. Kang's new aesthetic really took me by surprise. I get trying to modernize it so it doesn't look as goofy as it did in like the old cartoons.
Yep.
But I think they went a little too grim, dark, edgy with it.
Okay.
I would have liked a little bit more of a middle ground.
Fair.
And the other one, the moment when Old Hobbs is like, I got the rat, I'm piecing the fuck out, puts the remote in his pocket. It's not very clear that it fell out until Donatello finds it later.
Fair.
I'm like, because I look at the scene and I'm like, why is there just a circle pointing at the remote in his pocket? And I'm like, oh, that's it trying to indicate it fell out. That could have been a little bit more clear.
I agree. Maybe that's just a failing on the art, which we can get into when we grade the art.
But yeah, those are just a few minor things.
All right. Luke, what did you dislike?
The only thing I can kind of nitpick, maybe it was a created more story. And I know they're ninjas, but they're following ninjas. How did the ninjas not notice them right now?
Because the turtles are that damn good.
I thought it could lead to more story. You know,
Absolutely.
If there was a third ninja there that noticed the whole thing and followed them back. Obviously, they had someone else come back to them.
Fair. Don't worry. The Foot and the Turtles they have a date with destiny. We don't need to rush it. It's gonna come down.
And the only other thing is in Donatello's thing.
His side story.
Yeah, his side story. He mentions his online name while he's in the facility. He's supposed to be a really smart tech guy. Why does he keep the same name? They would know it's him.
Would they? Yeah, you'd think he'd switch it up or something.
That's the only inconsistency is how much of a genius he is. What's the doctor's name again? Or the scientist? The scientist even changes his name.
Yeah.
But Donnie doesn't, even though he should know to do that.
But it's Does Machines 84.
Oh, the scientist you were talking about was Harold.
Yeah,
Harold. Does Machines 84.
That's the only thing I can think of because then he's like, wait, they can track us and all that shit.
So for anybody at home, if you get the reference, please put it in the comments. Let us know. If you get what Donatello's online screen name Does Machines 84, what it's referencing. All right.
Yeah, other than that, Not too much to complain about.
Okay. Well, for me, Donatello's my least favorite turtle, of course, because it's Dave's favorite turtle. So we're going to be diametrically opposed on that. I'm not saying I hate Donatello, though. Just because he's my least favorite doesn't mean that I don't think he's great. I don't like how, of all the people, he seems to be giving Leo the most pushback. It should be Raphael, constantly and unendingly, right? It should be Raphael. He doesn't need this kind of grief from Donatello. Donatello should be almost like his wingman.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Donatello should be that for him. He's got enough to deal with Mikey being distracted and now Raphael's rebellion.
Yeah.
He's got those to work with. Distraction and rebellion is enough. And now Donatello acting like a jackass all the time is beginning, like, that is where I had a little bit, I'm like, why is it Donatello the one that's pushing back all the time on? You know what I mean?
I think the problem with Donatello is he knows he's a genius, but he needs to put his ego in check.
And
Like, you might be a genius,
and he rejects.
but you're not always the smartest guy in the room.
Oh my goodness! We have a special guest!
Oh,
What in the world?
Well, hello!
Hello. I just had to see what goes on this. Dave, you're here? Oh my goodness!
What's going on?
Oh my God! Who would have thought?
Oh, Pot,
Unbelievable! Hey, I'm in and out. I wanted to come live via satellite, just to say hi. How you guys doing? Hope you're enjoying the TMNT. Join us for any Marvel talks on Tuesdays. And Dave, when you want to come back to Monday Night Raw, let me know. Okay?
Hey, how's Russia?
That's a great photo or a great picture. What are you drawing today, Dave?
I'm drawing a Poison Ivy because I drew a Joker and I drew a Harley. So now I'm doing a Poison Ivy.
That is so cool.
Monday nights, huh? Monday.
Well, Monday Night Raw, the A show, the A show. Right now I'm on Friday Night SmackDown, so to speak.
Everything that we do here.
I have a big point, but this is too entertaining.
So yeah, I just, I thought you might be here, and I just wanted to come say hi and say that I do miss you. And Luke, Mike, Megan, hi, how you doing? Paul, good to see you again.
Stop calling during game time.
All good.
And I will let you guys get back to your explosive talks about the best brothers in comics. And enjoy, like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And you guys have a great night.
Bye, Jordan.
see ya.
See you later.
Okay.
So that's all gonna get cut, right?
Nope.
Oh, that's staying in.
I told you, Dave, he was coming for you.
When Jordan's determined.
Spies everywhere. Yes. No.
Whatever, you're the commie. All right, so
Oh, we can't have that on the recording.
it's on the recording.
No, we
Oh, you're making us accomplices.
Hold on. Andy Tifa, take a look. All right, so moving on. Okay, so that's one of the things I really dislike. Why are your sleeves still rolled up? One of the things I really disliked was Donatello is almost like a breaking of his character. And I'm not going to say that Leo doesn't have issues with all his brothers, okay?
Yeah.
Anybody who's in a leadership position is going to get pushed back, especially from teenagers. But Donatello, I don't know why he's the prominent one right now.
And something that I've noticed too is that Donatello is rejecting an awful lot of the situation that they're in.
All of it. He's the guy that's always giving the pushback. And I understand that he's supposed to be the voice of reason and logic in the face of all of this strangeness.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He just seems to be challenging Leo too much. And I think it's going to come down to Leo's going to be like, if you want to lead, man, you know how you do it.
And I have a question.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And I have a question because I think I noticed this last week and I meant to read out check. I think he refers to Splinter as Sensei, not Father.
They all do.
They
They cycle through father, sensei, and master.
Okay.
They just cycle through.
Okay, because if Donatello was to the point of rejecting the fact that Splinter is their dad, I can understand to a certain point, but that's completely against what they're trying to do with this.
I'm not sitting there. Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and say that. Obviously, Donnie should have a very scientific focus. He should be very scientifically focused. But for him to be a ninja and to turn his back on all mysticism completely doesn't make sense. That would be a scientist saying that he doesn't believe in physics.
The other thing,
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
piggybacking off of that,
You know what I mean?
I did notice that in number 6 that it was Donnie giving him the pushback, and I'm like, that seems fine because Raph has just joined them. But the one thing that looking back on it now, that confuses me, is the very beginning of Donnie's story, where he even says of his 3 brothers, the only one who actually tries to understand him is Leo.
Yeah.
Yet he's still giving Leo the pushback, despite Leo being the only one who tries to give a shit about what Donnie.
At the end of Donnie's story, Leo comes up to him and is like, "Yeah, I read up that manual you said."
I tried. Yeah,
I tried. I don't really get it, but let's play. And he's like, "Oh no, I got someone else to play with."
Yeah, but even at the beginning of it, Donnie's like,
but Leo's the only one that
tries.
tried.
Yes, and Donnie even calls that out at the very beginning of his side story. And
I know. So that's what I'm trying to say. And historically, Donatello is the guy that's got Leo's back. So when Raph's getting in his face, Donnie's like, "Hey man, no, Leo's right."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, relax.
And we see a bit of that when they do start working together after their argument, and Raph even's like, "I don't know which is worse, when they're arguing or when they're like on the same page."
And Mikey's like, "Right?" And so that's my only real problem with this whole thing, which I think that's almost out of character for Donatello. Dave, he's your favorite character. He's your favorite turtle. So what do you say?
Okay, it depends how you're looking at it. So let's use some X-Men analogy. Is he the Beast and Raphael's Wolverine? We can say, right? And then we got Cyclops. Well, I mean, I guess, I can see where why they're doing it, because I think that they're trying to flesh him out more as being like that logical scientist kind of guy, which is going to have opposing points to some of the leadership, right?
Yeah, but he's not just opposing Leo; he's even opposing Splinter.
But he's not saying it to Splinter's face.
Sometimes he does.
He's mostly saying it to Leo, though.
Yeah. Like, he's like, you know what I mean? I think Dad's drunk. Basically, what he's, you know what I mean? Like, I think he's off his rocker.
Why does Dad think that there's a 4th turtle? Why can't he just be happy with us 3 type thing?
Yeah, like, I don't get it. I don't.
It's something new, though. I mean, it does add something to talk about, right? It adds conflict.
But I'm waiting for fucking Raphael to punch Leo in the mouth, kind of thing. Like, keep trying to tell me what to do. You know what I mean? Like that's where that's the conflict that everybody wants to see. That's the Wolverine Cyclops dynamic.
We saw a bit of in the Raph side story, where Leo's like, "No, you got compromised. You can't patrol in this area anymore, and nobody goes out alone." Raph and me's like, "The hell with that! I'm gonna go bring Casey in on this."
Goes into the area by himself
to get Casey.
Yeah.
He's like,
let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm not alone now, Dad.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that progression.
Yes, we will.
All right. So anyway, that's the only thing I dislike, guys. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. And like I said, like Dave said, it's a new angle. Okay, that's fair. But I think Leo's already got enough on his plate, like I said, with Mikey and Raphael.
Well, I'm hoping
he doesn't need a 3-way war here.
Also, the next issue is going to be the best one.
You know it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's a time when
it shows why he's the leader.
Yeah,
it shows why he's the leader.
When Leo does something like saves Donatello, maybe after what happens when Splinter gets taken, Leo was the only one standing when the other 2 were knocked out. Maybe that's when Donatello's like, "No, I may not have like faith or trust in other things, but I have faith in my leader because he stood up the entire time."
Yeah, like Splinter's down.
Yeah,
and Leo's still up.
But maybe this could be a good shifting moment of him getting over himself.
I hope so.
Me too.
Alrighty, so let's talk about what we like. Dave, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, I gotta say, again, it's more about, while the original Turtles was great and groundbreaking as it was, they have taken these characters and they have dug deeper and given them more flesh. The way, like in this storyline, in these past bit, it's just they're giving them more and more depth and more reality and more. It makes them more interesting to read them. Yeah. It's far more. And I think even Splinter is so much more in depth than just being the wise old sage. He's got a lot. Yeah. And again, we'll go on the flip side. Besides them as characters, we even have a glimpse at each and every villain and like how they are, what you get to understand their motivation a little bit more. They're like living, breathing people, right? They're not just like cannon fodder. like foot number 2, foot number 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I gotta say, and that's why I think people should read it. You know, they need to.
It's so good. All right, Megan, give me one thing that you love most about these ones.
One thing.
Yeah, that's more than enough out of you. All right, no, in all honesty, give me your favorite thing out of it.
I really liked the entire lead up to and fight with the mouse. Like throwing old Hob into the room with them.
Yeah.
To teach him a lesson for stop back talking me. Or the scientist saying stop back talking me, to the point of bringing them down for the turtles to fight. And my favorite part of all of that is the shoehorning in of really stupid names for simple things. Like you can get really stupid names.
Like
Forced
the fact that they're
acronyms.
called Minefield Ordnance Unarming System Enhanced Robots.
I love forced acronyms. They're so good.
Mouser.
Mousers for sure.
All righty. That's why you can have nice. All righty. Interesting. Okay.
I thought that was a really creative to fight.
Absolutely. Well, the Mousers are, in the original series, Mousers were pretty much right after the Shredder. Like right after issue 1, they go right into is it
Stockman.
Stockman, yeah, Stockman and his Mousers.
Blackster Stockman.
The Mousers kind of remind me of like the robots from Ratchet. Some creatures you would fight.
Oh, yeah, I see that actually.
Alrighty, Michael, what did you like about this one?
There's one little thing and one big thing that I did really like. The little thing is I like that it's Leo who has even the semblance of memories of the past life.
Mom, one in particular. Mom.
Gets flashes, and sometimes I even see her. Who? Not.
How good is that?
It's being the eldest brother.
And then,
but it's also acknowledging the mystic aspect of this.
And then I loved the end bits with Casey bringing April down to the sewer.
Which was really interesting.
What did you like? You loved that, didn't you?
Well, I love the whole interaction between Casey and April.
Was that your favorite thing?
Kind of was my favorite thing.
Why did you say that, though?
Because I had to pick one thing, so I was going to go for, the battle and the normal comic book.
But you're the... Okay, we're going to move on. Nonetheless...
But I did also love the Raphael bringing Casey bringing April in.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like how it went off. It's like, so why do you want to know self-defense? Can't you just get pepper spray? It's like, it's a little bit more than that. What are you talking about? I can deal with crazy. Goes off the law, tired of everything to happen. And I was saved by a arachnid splinter.
Yeah. Did you say splinter? Alrighty, so what else, Mike, did you like?
I will be honest, and Dave did touch on this. I think of the side stories, the Donatello one, I think I like the artwork the best of the ones that they've done.
Okay.
I think it just...
I'll touch on that when we grade the art, but yeah.
I think it just flows a lot better than the other two did.
Fair. It wasn't. That's what Dave said too about that flow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a monthly thing. All right, Luke.
Yeah.
All right. What did you like about this bad boy? 4 issues of TMNT.
Yeah, it has to be because he's my favorite, Leo. Just throughout all the different stories, showing that he's trying to be a good leader and older brother, trying to take interest in others, trying not to be to the. Him learning about how to play the game. I did reread it. Donatello wasn't much of it as I remember. He more for Leo and Luke. I know you like that more.
Yeah.
So at least they're trying to pick up the bond. But just when Mikey and Raphael walk in and see Leonardo yell out, I don't know how much longer I can hold him off, and just the pure panic and just in his face of please help me.
Yes.
Even though he's still terrified, panicking, Mikey and Raphael are shocked at what they see, and Leo's still going.
Like a machine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, him remembering his mom, it's a cool touch to show that he's a bit more connected to the mystic side.
Absolutely.
Because he trusts Splinter.
Mm-hmm.
It also probably helped that he was.
And I do like on how the bad guy won. So I always like that in stories because too many times the good guy.
When the bad guys win, it promotes the plot.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the turtles aren't proactive though. They are very proactive. Yeah. They're out patrolling. They're they follow those foot ninjas. Yeah. They're proactive. But when the bad guys win, man, the plot flows.
Yeah.
Where's that word again? It's like moist.
Because when bad guys succeed, it advances the plot, but because good guys kind of more reactive. You can't really be proactive against villains.
Absolutely.
Evil never stops.
It never stops. Ever.
Also, April and Casey, amazing. First time he sees her, he's like, whoa.
Just whoa. There's something.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go. All righty. For me, it's now they obviously have a very large library of material to work from when they're crafting these stories. But I love how they lace it all together. This is a beautiful spider web they're creating. How everything connects. How everything laces together, how everything is relevant, nothing is irrelevant, right? There's no coincidence, there's no just randomness. Everything has a purpose, everything ties to something else. And it's really, really well done how they do it. Doesn't seem artificial, doesn't seem forced. It seems like this is just a natural progression. And I really, really like that a lot. It's really well done storytelling. I cannot say it enough. If you are a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan and you have not looked at this, you are denying yourself the best that TMNT has ever been. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say on that for everybody at home. If you have taken a look at this, folks,
flank 'em, spank 'em.
Yeah, please comment below, after you've liked and shared this video, but definitely comment below. Tell us what you like most about this series in particular, because maybe we're way off the mark, or maybe you are. But regardless, we do want to hear from you. We want to hear what your views are and stuff like that. Is there a better TMNT out there? If you say Last Ronin, that's kind of a cop-out. I mean an actual series.
If you are in fact following along, just in case you haven't already mentioned it, we have read issues 6, Donatello, 7, and
yeah, that's what we read today. So we're up to issue 8, okay, of this. And it's just absolutely glorious. All right, let's get into the grading. We're going to talk about the art now. I'm going to start this one off with the art. Okay. The art I'm going to give a 3. I think the action is clear. There are exceptions, like this thing falling out of old Hobbs' the remote control. Okay, that's an exception though, not a rule. Overall, I think the art is starting to get better. And I do think that the Donatello side story was well drawn. My problem with it, no turtle story should be clean, all right? It shouldn't be clean looking. It shouldn't be clean feeling. And this story has the hallmarks of modern comic book art. There's a certain style that they do now. It's very minimalist, it's very flat, and very colorful. They rely on the coloring more than anything in these. And this is a clear version of that modern kind of style of comic book art. I see it over and over again. Marvel and DC do it to death. You can't tell the difference between artists because they're all doing the same damn style. And so it's like trying to see the difference between John Byrne and Neil Adams. You really can't, because one copied the other style. One was inspired the other one, and the other one copied the style so well. They're pretty much the exact same artist. But and I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to argue that to death, but it's just the way it is. But this style, it does move. It is smooth, but it didn't feel like Turtles to me. It felt like I know it's not 3D, but I'm just saying it felt like a 3D animation TV show of the Turtles, which is very different than a drawn one.
Oh, that literally when I first saw that, it reminded me of like all the cartoons I'd watch.
Yeah. I'm not saying it is 3D or anything like that. It's still drawn and everything, all that kind of stuff. But it just gave me that feel between the different styles of animation. So yeah, and so that's why I'm going to give it a 3. That's my take on it. Okay, Dave, what are you giving it?
I'm giving it a 3.
A 3?
Yeah.
All righty.
But I think if it got a 3 because of that clean style, I'm saying of that one. The rest of it wasn't as good.
Hold on, you're a big fan of that clean style. It's your style.
Well, I wouldn't say that's my style, but
and I'm not saying it's bad, Dave. I'm just saying I don't know if it's for Turtles, right?
Well, I'll say why it is. All right.
Okay.
And my thoughts are people who enjoy Turtles enjoy manga and anime, right?
Okay.
A huge percentage of them, and I think it really caters to that audience, and I think that's why it belongs and why it suits.
Fair.
I understand the grit. I like the grit myself more too, but I think it really helps them sell it to the audience, the target market that they really are going for.
I'm going to be honest with you. Any manga or anime style of art I've seen with Turtles, it looks pretty traditional to me because the way they draw the Turtles are almost kind of anime manga-ish just by their design.
Yeah.
And so anytime anybody tries to translate them into that style, it just looks like, well, that's just traditional looking Turtles to me. You know what I mean?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, I see your point there. Okay. Megan, it's time to grade some art.
I'm gonna round it up to a 3.
Okay. Oh, I rounded as well to a 3. Mine got rounded.
Because it was a little. Sometimes I found it a little bit disjointed. You can tell what the artist practiced drawing, and that's the turtle. The human drawings
Not so much.
can get pretty rough at times, which lends itself more to the turtle style, which is supposed to be a little bit grittier, a little bit like heavy on the pencil lines.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't. But it's not that there's any page numbers in this comic, which is another complaint about the art.
We're moving on.
You notice I haven't brought that up yet.
Yeah.
We see April speaking with Casey,
Yeah.
and it's rough as heck. And then on the opposite page, we see the turtles fighting the mouse, and it's very clean.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Well, my thing is I think that there are some inconsistencies because sometimes April looks like a woman and sometimes she looks like a 12-year-old child.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just sometimes I'm like, okay, that's a person in their late teens, early 20s.
And
then sometimes I'm like, okay, that is a 12-year-old girl.
and
Like-
I can understand there are no other females in this comic.
Sure.
So practicing drawing females is not high on the priority.
You might want to get April right, though.
But you might want to she might be like
Just a bit.
she might be a canon
Yeah,
long-standing character.
you may want to practice her and just her a lot.
But like when there's more detail in like I apologize, I can't remember what her name is. The turtle's mom flashback.
She dead. That's her name.
When there's more detail in that than there is in April.
I think it's She Dead Osaka.
She dead Osaka.
Okay. She Dead Yamaha.
Brutal.
Kang Shen.
She Dead. See, I was right. I guess.
But like anything that's not traditional, be it say Krang.
Krang. Stop listening to Dave.
I apologize. Be it Krang, be it his stone golem type thing.
Hey, he's got his stone soldiers, man.
The turtles,
Just
Splinter,
rock hard.
ninjas
They
even.
rock on.
The ninjas were drawn fine too, but that's because all their human features were covered up.
So that's why ninjas are glorious to draw.
So,
Take it
Yeah,
from somebody
but-
who draws very shitty. I love ninjas.
but the humans look. So that's why I got a 3.
Okay, Michael, what are we giving it?
So I am still also in agreement with you guys. It'd probably be a 2.5, but I am going to round up to a 3 because
Of Donnie's story.
I did like that. But I still probably would have rounded down to a 2 if the art had still been what it had been in the past. But with the fight for the Mousers, I'm noticing even like the standard style is getting a lot nicer.
Yep.
Like because obviously before I was very adamant, no, it's 2, but it's getting a lot easier to follow and a lot easier to look at.
Absolutely. All right, I'm glad you said it. Luke, what are we giving it?
I'll give it a 3. Overall, it's improving, slowly but surely moving its way to the 4.
Amazing.
I do like the different art styles because it keeps everything fresh.
For sure. Well, you know what? I don't have a problem with these side stories being done in a different style. I'm fine with that.
Like, I think-
and I'm not like losing my mind over
Just
it.
looking at Leo's side story, it looks so.
Oh, I like Leo's side story. I like that art. See the grittiness of that kind of
Yeah.
art? Yeah, I know. That's coming up in our next review, guys. And get ready. You will know why Leo is the leader. All right. Let's get to the story. Dave, what are you giving it?
5, hands down.
Damn! This is how comic books should be done. Does comic. All righty. Megan.
5. You described it yourself as the spider web where everything is all connected. The entire story, like underlying story, Casey and April meeting, training, her revealing that she worked in a lab where Splinter was, and therefore she might know the origins of the turtles. Casey's like, I absolutely want to bring you to meet them. April, for some reason, was like, wow, this guy who just taught me one course of self-defense is taking me to a dark alley in an abandoned part of New York City
Into a sword.
into a sewer.
But what does that say about Casey, though?
He's handsome.
Not just that he's handsome,
I
that
will
he's trustworthy.
He's
I will-
trustworthy.
I will
Yeah.
say, based on the way the dialogue reads, they've been at the training session for at least multiple
I
sessions.
know, I'm
I know what
Yeah,
you're
I'm
going
being-
to,
I'm
but
being
still,
facetious.
yeah, you're right,
Yeah.
Mike. You're absolutely right. But still, it proves how
Earnest he is.
well, not just earnest, but he's earnest when it comes to April. But it just proves that vibe he gives. No, I can trust this person.
I do like the fact that she does in fact faint on seeing all the turtles.
Absolutely,
That's 52 presence attack right there.
it happens. All righty, Michael, what are we giving the story?
I'm giving it a 5. So one thing I do want to note, and last week I was pretty harsh on the Mikey side story.
Yeah.
I actually did figure it out on the way home with Luke what I actually really disliked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Donnie story just kind of cemented it for me. With the Raph story and the Donnie story, there were obvious elements of how this all tied to the story. The Raph story introducing Bebop and Rocksteady and very, very clearly foreshadowing the Shredder.
Yep.
And Donnie's story legitimately had Baxter Stockman approaching a scientist to have another angle to finding the turtles.
Yep.
Those are all very direct elements with what's going on with the story. Mikey's right now is still very nebulous about it. How it ties in. There's no real direct reference. That's why it felt so disjointed.
For sure.
But this one didn't have that problem, and I do really like the way everything's flowing.
It's that word again, Luke.
With the Foot Clan being an ever-looming threat, but still being in the background right now because the Turtles have other more immediate problems to deal with.
Yep.
The entire thing with Casey and April, I do really like how Casey's honestly coming off as a lot smarter than he's ever been in any other freaking form of media.
Yeah. Well, obviously he's never been academic, but he's not a fool. He wouldn't be able to survive on the streets if he was. He would have been capped in the head a long time ago. So,
but I also do appreciate that for the first time, it's him who brought April into the fold rather than it being the other way around.
It's a nice twist.
Where April is in the know before Casey, and she kind of what brings him fully into it.
Technically, she did deal with Splinter and the Turtles first. Technically. Yeah.
I just like the natural way that they made it that he had to care about his academics, which brought him and April together.
Yeah.
That if he lost his scholarship, he was going to lose the rent payments. He and his dad were going to end up losing the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's also little details, like an even greater supporting cast, like Mikey's pizza hookup. I'm like, all right, that's a nice little detail, honestly. That explains how they've been getting their hands on all of this.
Absolutely. See what Dave's working on? Look at that. Look at that, everybody at home. Match skills. Be jealous. I command it, be jealous. Luke, what's the story getting today?
Oh, it's getting
holy moly.
So good. The side stories connect obviously with the main story. Characters become themselves even more.
All right.
Yep.
And Leo.
He's as good as I remember as a kid.
That's
why he was my favorite. He is the ultimate. He's just because the closest character to him would be Captain America. They have very similar types of characters.
Yep. Cyclops is another one.
Yep.
All right. Except that Leo's cool. Cyclops isn't.
Cyclops is a nerd.
Also, Raphael is steal Leo's girlfriend.
No.
Well, he might try to steal April.
No, but he might punch Leo in the mouth though. It'll be a sucker punch though.
It's just a punch. No. Leo just gets back up like, do you really want to do it?
Yep. And then Raphael's already leaving.
Yeah.
Raphael would absolutely steal Leo's girl. He won't steal Casey.
Okay. So this is a hard one for me.
Oh no.
All right, this folks.
Chaos.
This is
Let's mark the day. Let's mark the day.
Absolutely.
Hold on, I haven't said
Let's
shit.
mark it just in case. Get the time.
All righty.
Are we gonna have a volume 11?
It's just good.
Okay.
I can't wait to
Let me explain why it's they're
I can't wait to steal it after just the fire beams everywhere.
Let me tell you why there's a conflict. And Dave, maybe you can justify this with.
All right.
While this is still a great story where all these loose threads are being beautifully connected and laced, I just got a feeling with obviously Donatello's story being exactly that. It's just filler. I just got that feeling. I mean, I'm not saying that things haven't moved.
Yeah.
All right, but I just felt like it was filler. You know what I mean? It just gave off that filler feel. Now it was beautiful filler.
Yeah.
Because if this is filler and we're getting Splinter freaking kidnapped and that's filler, that's gold.
Yeah.
That's still really good.
But I could see you arguing Donatello's filler.
Well, they're all filler. All those side stories are filler. I'm saying, you know what I mean? So I'm caught right now. I'm a little caught. Dave, what do you think? Can you see what I'm saying?
I do.
I'm saying it's beautiful filler. Don't get me wrong.
The question is, though, is sometimes filler wasn't meant to be filler, but they get the rug cut out from under them beforehand.
Yeah.
And they can't finish. Like Claremont has tons of filler in a sense, but really, it was all groundwork for other things. Did they come about? Not everything, right?
Yeah.
All joking aside, I think perhaps it's that there wasn't enough folk turtle in these 4 issues that we read.
It did jump around a bit, but I think we need that. I think there's so many interesting characters.
We do, but that is the nature of filler. The filler is seeing stories from different angles other than those of the hero.
All right, but I feel like I'm betraying this book if I give it.
It's okay. You can just blame it on Donetello.
I might just blame it on you.
I mean, that's also a valid strategy.
All right, I'm giving it a 5.
There we go.
All right, it's going to be an 8 because everybody gave it the same. Everybody gave it 3 for art, and everybody gave it a 5 for story. It's good. All right, guys. Everybody at home, this bad boy got an 8 out of 10. Most of you could only hope to do that well on a quiz, so this is something else to be said.
Say it at this point sometime.
Yeah. I'm glad that this one is 8. It shows where the direction that we're headed. It shows how this is going to be. And if, like I said, if this is filler and I still gave it a 5, it's going to have to really collapse.
And it's setting up for a few good stories of the turtles being without Splinter.
Or having to rescue their father.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's badassery.
It is.
All right, everybody at home, please tell us what you think. Let us know if you decided to pick this series up, or if you have read it, what your take on all of this was. I cannot recommend it enough. So please like, share, and most important, comment. If you're a Turtles fan, this is your chance to get that out there.
Agree with us. Disagree with us. Be like everyone else on the internet.
If you disagree with us, look, there's going to be 2 types of people that talk about this. There's going to be those that agree with us, and then those that are wrong. So, regardless.
Can't argue with facts.
All right, guys.
Even Donatello would approve of that.
From everybody at Comics Conspiracy Comic Review, we want to wish you all well, and we'll do this again, hopefully soon enough.
Turtle power!